Ho, ho, ho. Welcome to my final CEO memo of 2024. And what a year it was. We started out with a bang, came back in the new year, and everything was looking like it was going to be a great year. We had a change of government in New Zealand late 2023, and everyone was all excited. And they came back with vim and vigor, and oh, that's not what happened for the year. Instead, we went through a very difficult patch that really hasn't changed. I know that it has been the same in Australia. Retail trading conditions over there have been very difficult and still being squeezed by the interest rates, which don't look like they're going to be dropped anytime soon. I'll get to that in a moment. But first, I thought I would just show you the numbers that we have seen over the last 30 days for our retail clients, the basket of clients that we have in our dashboarding. And I'm really glad to see these numbers because you'll see there's a sea of green ink. We're up 53% month on month. And you've got to remember that because this is also including a lot of that Black Friday sales, we are up 53% of the period of time, including Black Friday sales. For those that have been a regular follower of my memo, you'll know that when I show this data, that for a lot of periods, a lot of months throughout the year, it was sitting around that 2.6 to 2.8 million. The fact that it's just shy of $5 million for the last 30 days is a fantastic rebound. So really glad to see that. And what you'll see is there's only a minimal increase in the number of users coming to our clients' websites, but they are seeing significant increases in the revenue there. So it is a Merry Christmas, and I would hope that consumers have that confidence. And certainly some of the economic indicators that have been coming through and the reporting that's been coming through over the last 2 weeks has been showing that increased confidence. If we look at the channel trend data, we'll see that for the month of November, a whopping $4.1 million of revenue under management. Really glad to see that number. It's one of our key metrics that we focus in on as a company, that we want to see our clients grow in real terms. And you'll see that the highest previous number was 3.3 million. So 800,000 higher than we saw in March. Um, and so that's actually, no, it's April, I was going to say. It's 3.4. So, really good growth. But then we tapered down throughout that mid part. We saw a bit of an incline in October, significant climb, and then we're still 19th. I guess a lot of that revenue will start to drop off. Shipping drops off in New Zealand today in terms of getting deliveries via courier. But we'll still see sales coming through. And then we have a client today who's asking for an urgent Boxing Day sale. So these numbers will continue through. It'll be interesting to see what my January memo shows. I'm hoping that we hit a similar number to what we saw in November. Just briefly, if we have a look at our total numbers here, if you recall the numbers in the middle, form submission, email link click, and form submission, are metrics that I would relate back to the service industry. They are all up. They were not up, or if they were marginally up at the end of November. So good growth. Obviously not as strong as the retail numbers. You would expect that retail is strong with Black Friday and then Christmas trading, whereas the service sector is butting into that end of the year, that seasonality where they'll see a decline, but again, an ocean of green ink. So really, really glad to see these numbers. Awesome effort by my team to deliver that to you. But actually, it's your business, it's your brand, it's your team, it's your skills, it's your inventory that is selling. And that is fantastic. And I really hope that there is a massive in-store push over the next 4, 5, 6 days before Christmas proper, because boy, howdy, our economies need that stimulation, that growth, because if we leave it to the governments, well, nothing will ever happen. They're just useless. And to that end, I'm going to talk about my top five points of the year. But before I do, I'm going to talk about my bottom 5 points for the year. So coming in at number 5 is Adrian Orr or Michelle Bullock, depending on which country you are. Today, being the 19th of December, the GDP figures for the September quarter in New Zealand came in. They were expecting it to be between -0.2 and -0.4. It came in as -1, significantly higher. I could have told Adrian Orr. In fact, a year nine student at high school for the first year could have told Adrian or in May that the OCR was too high. I know that inflation in Australia is not yet under control, and that's why Michelle Bullock is keeping the interest rates higher. That is causing pain for a lot of people, and I believe that employment is actually quite low as well. So it's a very difficult proposition for the Australian economy at the moment because people are not getting relief with their mortgage payments, but they're still seeing some good economic indicators, which makes for a difficult time. In New Zealand, of course, what we're seeing is a higher number of unemployed individuals and lower inflation. So that means that our interest rates are going to decline. But these people, they seem to live in these rarefied, champagne-filled houses, dinner parties and the like, and us plebs are just expected to be at the whims of their decision making, and I just don't think that is fit for purpose. If anyone's interested, I could give you an insight as to how potentially we could better pull levers in our economy using either superannuation as a method to slow growth if need be, because then that money goes back into your back pocket, not to the bank's back pocket. Or similarly, you could increase GST, but dangerous because that money goes back to the government. And when did a politician ever want to lower taxes having increased them? But the blunt instrument of using mortgage interest rates to dampen down economic activity and to lower inflation doesn't really work when you've got less and less people owning homes and having mortgages. It's just more and more pressure being placed upon the mortgage holders. So they get number five. Bad debt is number four. We have seen an increasing number of bad debtors come through this year. I'm sure you will have. If it's retailers, you're seeing in-store crime. If you're service sector clients, you will be seeing that people are just not paying anymore. Tradies not getting their retention payments. Certainly for us, we're holding a significant amount of bad debt. Number of clients have gone into liquidation, and some people are just like, pull the middle finger and tell us to F off, knowing full well that we've done the job, and then they'll give us the checks in the mail nonsense. So unfortunately, when you're seeing an economic downturn, you're going to see those sorts of things go on. I think we should all just be vigilant, and the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Number three, for me, recording the wrong screen. If you saw my August CEO memo, instead of showcasing the metrics that we have on the dashboard, I showed you my Xero dashboard, and you saw all of my bank accounts and all of the draft invoices, which, I mean, they look healthy, don't get me wrong, running a good company here, but still not really information that I wanted to share with the world. So bit of a fail, super fail for me. So that was no good. Coming at number two is Google changing absolutely everything. Every part of the Google ecosystem this year was changed. It was a super pain in the ass. There was merchant center changes, there was ad changes, there was GMB changes, there was changes to Search Console, there was changes to anything and everything. And GA4 broke. I'd never seen analytics break until they released GA4. It's as though that Google's turned into this massive bureaucracy, and change for change's sake is modus operandi. Whereas if you could just give us some stability in the tech platforms, that would be best. And coming in at the worst of the year for me is Facebook's access issues. The number of clients that we had hacked or were locked out of their accounts, and then the silence from Meta about our clients' ability to gain access was shocking. It's at one point, Facebook was going to introduce a $50 a month fee that you could pay to get customer service. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're advertising with someone, isn't it baked into the ad spend that you should be getting customer service? Really difficult for clients who have significant following on Facebook pages that they just have to give up. And yes, they might get chargebacks on their credit card if their ad account was hacked. Still doesn't matter. That all of that time and effort that was put into creating a Facebook page is wiped out. There was another franchise business that we work with who was locked out of their accounts because they said that the master franchise was the only one that was allowed, and all the sub brands were passing off. So the robots that are behind the scenes of these tech platforms are not the solution to problems, especially if you're paying money. Like if you're advertising with these platforms, you should be expecting and be given good customer service. So that was the fail of the year. But on to our top five, rounding out the bottom, and this is like a yin and yang to Adrian Orr. And this is going to sound really odd because I do not particularly like this individual's politics, but it's Grant Robertson. Now, the reason I say Grant Robertson gets number five on my good list is that because of his largesse, we were able to secure quite a lot of work from the Activate Auckland funding that took place in 2021, 2022, and that allowed our business to really grow. And so the fact that we are in the position that we are now is because we capitalized upon the candy that was being thrown around by the government. Now, as I said, the worst of the worst is that the inflation was so high that it pushed up interest rates and penalized the economy and penalized us all. But credit where credit's due. If you were in receipt of any of that government largesse that took place during COVID, well, you kind of, even if you didn't like or agree with it, because I didn't agree with it, I thought it was stupid. I thought the government money being given away was absolutely ridiculous. The output of them investing all this money into digital marketing in Auckland meant that you had all of these companies proliferate out of nowhere who had never done digital marketing before because they wanted to gobble it up. But then for the next 6 months, the digital marketing economy was absolutely decimated because everyone had been given free digital marketing for the next 6 months, which made selling digital marketing pretty bloody difficult. So when the government intervenes, it's never a good sign. However, if you're in receipt of the government money, well, thanks. Number four is my team. What a wonderful group of people. I believe we have 28 staff at the moment, or certainly I'm paying 28 different individuals per month. So that's what the payroll is for me. But yeah, just an epic group of people. Really, really humbled about the success that we've enjoyed. Over the last 10 weeks, we've implemented a productivity drive within the business, and I've sort of kicked out some of the problematic policies and processes that we had in the business. And the change is like night and day. We are so much stronger now. We end this year in a great place. I'm super happy about where we are. We're very lucky. We've seen a good influx of new business that's come in over the last 2 months. A lot of referral business, a lot of our lead generation is starting to kick in, and we are primed for 2025. But that's off the back of a strong and skilled team who are going to be given contextualized, individualized training from next year, but all of whom deserve a really special mention. Thank you very much. Number three is AI, but not for what you think. So AI is actually quite successful. Maybe in the new year, I'll show you about how I'm seeing some success. I just talk to my phone with the new iOS update. If you've got a 15 Pro or a 16 iPhone, then you can download the updated Siri and integrate it into ChatGPT. This is going to be a real problem for Google because people are just going to talk to their phones, as I've been doing. But the reason why I'm saying AI was a great boon this year is because of the problems that it has generated in a lot of the accounts, because it has shown how important our work is, how important our ability to understand the changes and the problems in your accounts and fix them, ideally before they ever occur, or understand that it has occurred and then resolve it. Because for a lot of businesses out there, their accounts are being hijacked by AI and not to their benefit. AI is a great marketing tool for those that are prepared to say, I do AI. A lot of people, I don't have a pen, have a pen here, that if you could, people would say this pen is infused with AI. It's not. And the problem with AI is this. AI can only take what it has aggregated that other people have said. It does not actually take the new information. It can't think for itself. It's just regurgitating information. And so I think that if you look at it from that perspective, you shouldn't trust what it's giving you, right? It's not thinking. It's just regurgitating. Anyway, the final two for the year, second to last one is the Christmas numbers. As I said, they're really strong. Really glad to see them. Really awesome to see that upswing in revenue coming through for our clients and to see the service sector change. I think it really comes down to us. There's a conscious awakening. There's a philosophy out there that says that positivity is the most contagious um, aspect in the world. Don't worry about COVID or the flu. It's actually your attitude. And if you've got a positive attitude and you amplify that and you amplify the goodness, then that's going to have a butterfly effect to all of the people that you surround yourself with. And we are the ones that can change our lives, change our perspectives, change our economic fortunes. The government's never going to do it. The media are gaslighting us all the time, and the naysayers just don't want to get ahead because they're lazy. So people and that's so my number one for the year is actually you. You are the number one thing for the year. You, the client, you, the individual, you, the family member, you, the friend, you, the person that wakes up day in, day out, even though it might be a shitty circumstance for the day, you get through it and you get it done. At the end of the week, you can enjoy a beer, you can enjoy a walk with your wife, you can enjoy some time with your kids, you can enjoy some time at the gym, whatever it is that you do to make yourself happy. I think that that's so important that we recognize that we are the ones that chart our own courses, and you should be proud that you got through this torrid year. And that if you consider what you are going to do for 2025, it should be about success. It should be about being a better individual because you deserve it. You deserve the very best. You deserve everything that you want because you're the one putting in the effort to get there. So, on that note, I wish you a very Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful break and a wonderful new year. And I know that 2025 is absolutely going to be our year. You rock. I love you. Enjoy. See you later.